Who's they? Was this a doctor performing a procedure well outside of a clinic or a hospital? It was a doctor! Oh my gosh, what? Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that act as back alley plastic surgeons, and this happens in real life. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jess the MD. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going in for another Doctor Reacts today. We are gonna watch a clip from an episode of a random medical show that I've never seen before, and we're gonna just tear it to pieces. Today's clip is from an episode of Chicago Fire. So let's see what Chicago Fire has to offer us.
In here, my friend's inside. They just left her on the table.
Who's they? Was this a doctor performing a procedure well outside of a clinic or a hospital or anything? Obviously now paramedics are being called. Let's see.
I was waiting outside while the doctor was working on her, and then I saw him run out.
It was a doctor! Oh my gosh, what? Is this like black market stuff? What are they doing?
And get in his car. That bastard just took off!
Okay, so just knowing the title, Injected with Cement, and seeing that, was she trying to get like fillers somewhere in her face, in her buttocks? This is something that people definitely have done. They inject random chemicals into their bodies, not medical grade fillers, like hyaluronic acid based fillers that can be easily dissolved with something like hyaluronidase. But people will get random injections of different substances, things like caulk or other things that can dry down and be firm and voluminous. And it's really dangerous. It's definitely something that we need to talk about more because it is extremely dangerous. It can be life-threatening, and it seems like it might be here.
What's your friend's name?
Shelly, I'm Tina.
What exactly is going on here, Tina?
She was getting some work done, but he wasn't a real doctor, was he?
She was getting some work done. So this is plastic surgery that is definitely not done in the medical setting and is not safe. Please, please never go to someone's basement for medical treatments like this. It is not safe, and it often leads to major disfigurement, and it can even lead to death. Let's see what's gonna happen to this lady.
Doctors don't generally buy their medical supplies from Home Depot. He was filling her with silicone and cement. Heart rate's 50, borderline Brady. She's definitely allergic to something in this cocktail. Give me an airway.
So it also looks like she's having an anaphylactic reaction to this injection. It was with silicone and cement. The silicone is something that does sometimes go into people, like in silicone breast implants. However, that is again medical grade. It's completely sterile and not something that you get at what they said, Home Depot.
She's going into VFib.
Do something!
Stand back, Tina.
Her heart has gone into an extremely dangerous rhythm, VFib, ventricular fibrillation, that very quickly can result in asystole, meaning no heart rhythm, no heart rate, and death. And so they need to start resuscitation efforts absolutely immediately.
All right, prepare to shock. Shocking.
Interestingly enough, this was actually an appropriate time to shock. When someone has an irregular heart rhythm like VFib, that would be actually an appropriate time to shock them. Not when they're in asystole, meaning flatlined, which is how a lot of other medical dramas will demonstrate that.
Pushing epi. She's still in VFib. Shocking. We got a pulse.
Honestly, that's something that we hear about fairly frequently. People injecting themselves with things that should not be going into their bodies, whether that is things like IV drug use or injecting themselves with something that's like medical grade filler but clearly is not and can cause major, major medical problems.
Don't get me wrong. I like a big caboose as much as the next guy, but how do you pay a charlatan $1,500 to pump construction adhesive into your ass? I mean, have you ever been on a call like that before, like a back alley plastic surgeon?
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that act as back alley plastic surgeons, and they definitely cause a lot of morbidity and mortality, meaning illness and death. So she was having these injections in her buttocks. There are large blood vessels that lead straight to the heart from that area, and if some of these substances are injected into one of those blood vessels accidentally, that can very quickly go up to the heart and lungs and cause a blockage and stop the movement of blood and lead to death. Woof! Back alley plastic surgery, at it again. I know that they show this, in these medical dramas, but at the same time, this happens in real life, and it is incredibly dangerous to be doing any of that. We live in a culture these days that really promotes changing your body based on the trends for that year, and it's really important to recognize that doing some of these things to your body can absolutely lead to really, really horrific things, and it can even lead to death. And so I implore anyone that is considering any of these things, please go to a board-certified plastic surgeon or dermatologist or some other board-certified physician that has the training and experience to do these things safely for you, because it is not ever worth your life to change your appearance based on a trend. Thank you so much for joining me for this absolutely riveting clip from Chicago Fire. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking down below, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell to be updated of any future content that I post. Once again, I'm Jess the MD. Thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed spending time with you. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and I will see you in the very next one.